Welcome to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP, in association with thelibertybeacon.com. And I am your host, Joseph M. Lenard, and that's Lenard. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and occasional guest type podcast. I really appreciate you tuning in. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show.
Hello, everybody. If you're looking at the BitChute, Brighteon, Rumble, or YouTube video behind the scenes sneak peek, you see I'm wearing, and I'll say this for the audio only benefit and the transcript benefit, my USA flag jacket. Well, why am I doing this? Well, it is going to be the week of the 4th of July, but that isn't it. I literally just came in, this being, I'll tell you behind the scenes, Saturday, June the 29th, I am recording this show for Saturday, July the 6th. It will air. The in the news last month, not yet commented on, that I felt important to discuss. But before that, I literally just came in the door from the theater. Shout out to MJR Theaters here in Michigan. I go to the MJR 20 Digital in Southgate, Michigan. Not a paid ad. Again, I mention people and places that I greatly respect and admire. But I just came from seeing the Mike Rowe movie, Something to Stand For. I hope you all got a chance to see it. Even if you haven't, I urge you to go to somethingtostandfor.mikerowe.com and encourage him to make another version, a second version of Something to Stand For. In the meantime, while you're waiting for that to air somewhere that you can see it. Very, very, very important film. Very, very powerful. You've heard me, if you're a regular listener or watcher behind the scenes on the video channels, mention Paul Harvey, right? The rest of the story. Well, it turns out Mike Rowe says that Paul Harvey also greatly inspired him and his life, as he has mine. Admires him, and why Mike Rowe created a series like The Rest of the Story that Paul Harvey used to do, which made up the shorts of Something to Stand For, this movie. Great stories of patriots as you've never heard them told before and may not know them. So I hope he will make another one. I hope you will encourage him to make another one. Please see this one if you get the chance. And also, after I'm done recording, I'll be heading to my DVD library and digging out my DVD copy of An American Carol. If you're a regular reader of my articles, and I know I've mentioned, I don't think I mentioned it, I know I've mentioned it in last year's 4th of July, Remembering Our Freedoms episodes. I think there were 2 of them, Remembering Our Freedoms and Our Rights Beyond the 4th of July, with the 4th of July will, by the time this airs, it's a few days from now on Thursday, July the 4th, it'll fall. I'm recording this again Saturday, June the 29th. It will air Saturday the 6th. Every 4th of July, I rewatch An American Carol movie. It is very important. If you've never seen this movie, to watch this movie. I don't care what it costs you on streaming or video on demand. I think you can, though, see it on YouTube for free and potentially Chromecast it to your TV to see it on a bigger screen rather than your laptop or desktop computer. But again, it's available like If you've got a satellite, you can get YouTube on your satellite usually, therefore watch it on your big screen. An American Carol, starring Leslie Nielsen, Robert Davi, Kelsey Grammer, Bill O'Reilly even makes an appearance in it. It's such a long list of great actors and actresses in that. John Voight is in it. Even ultra leftists. I can picture him in my head. He plays a judge in An American Carol. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he saw the script and thought, oh, I've got to be in this movie because it's going to be a cult classic. And it is, if you've not heard of it yet. A great patriotism movie. So I'll be watching that after I record this show. And there's so many things I wanted to say, which is why I sat right down and hit the record button, that I'm now, of course, forgetting them. Again, go to somethingtostandfor.mikerowe.com. Ask them to do another. Make sure you see that. Make sure you see An American Carol. But this week isn't really a Christian show per se. But it is, yes. I'm discussing the month of June news that probably blew past you, if you ever heard it at all. That is important. And it's Christian because are we nearing the book of Revelation? And that's all I'm going to say about the Christian tie. There's so much upheaval and unrest in the world and uncertainty, especially with our weak current commander in chief. So let me dive into the episode now. Hopefully anything I forgot that I wanted to say at the beginning will come back to me later. At any rate, yes, okay, I had to throw one of those in there. First off, June used to be Christian Heritage Month. So if you've never really thought about why Pride Month became June, now you know, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. They particularly chose June to co-opt and corrupt Christian Heritage Month with Pride Month and the LGBT elemental XYZ plus minus divide equal slash caret symbol, whatever it's all up to now. That's all I'm going to say on that, because the main things I wanted to talk to is Global Unrest, an article I wrote for Before It's News, not The Liberty Beacon, of course. This show is in conjunction with thelibertybeacon.com. Same show name, in the news last month, not yet commented on. You can find that there. There'll be different things than are in this video, audio, ChristiTutionalist Politics episode. The first thing beyond the June being co-opted from us is China. A second moon probe, 4 moon rocks collection landed on the dark side, and there are many reasons why that's happening, that they landed on the dark side of the moon. And it wasn't just for the rocks. And I will say in the article, hey, flat earthers, let me read this. Hey, flat earthers, still think landing on the moon is all fake? The moon is being weaponized. Hence the Christian mention of Revelations. Are we heading towards Armageddon? Just as space overall is being weaponized, as also in the news in June, Russia launches more satellite-to-satellite weapons platforms. Think Trump was crazy to create officially the Space Force now? We brought back moon rocks. We therefore discovered a lot of rare items on the moon, which is why China is back there now, harvesting things now. It's not really necessarily all just space exploration. It's about items we can't mine on Earth or are so rare on Earth, but exist more on the moon that it's easier to actually send a ship up there to collect it and bring it back. That's how important the moon really is. Even more important now, a space race than we had in the 1960s. So China is beginning mining operations on the moon. And we're going to be left behind again? Left behind. Like mentioning the rapture last week, caught up that I accidentally made the pun. No pun intended here. That and the other thing, just to move it along, this is going to be a short show or I'm going to sweat my butt off in this coat. For the transcript purposes, yes, I'm laughing out loud now because, yes, it's really warm outside, but the theater is so cold. To go back to that, you need a jacket and a hat to sit in the theater so you don't freeze your butt off there. That's why I'm wearing a coat. And why I said just rushing in the door, sitting down and hitting record, the jacket's still on from coming from the theater. The other primary issue of last month's news that I don't think many people caught and understand the significance of is North Korea. Little Kim, at it again. Many of you probably heard the bigger news of Kim and Putin having a meeting and signing basically a Soviet pact. And little Kim, as well as Iran, helping to supply Russia with weapons and arms and drones and whatnot to continue Putin's invasion in Ukraine, trying to still push further towards Kiev. But that's not what this part's about. You probably hadn't heard, or if you did, you forgot by now. Little Kim sending trash balloon bombs into South Korea. Well, you think, what, balloons with trash attached, dropping trash in South Korea? How is that a problem? Well, if you go to thelibertybeacon.com and read my whole article that is in conjunction with this show there, you will see I quote from my Terror Strikes, Coming Soon to a City Near You book about World War II, Japanese balloon bombs sending over incendiary devices that actually shut down the Manhattan Project during World War II. So you don't need ICBMs. You don't need long-range bombers. You don't need a massive invasion force to attack the U.S. mainland. Japan did it with balloons. China, of course, you all remember the kerfuffle of the Chinese spy balloons we did nothing about until they went across the entire country several times, and then we finally shot 2 of them down. Well, North Korea can take a crude nuclear device that either they have or Iran will soon have, attach it to a balloon bomb, and send it over our way. Hence the Christian tie to, are we nearing the book of Revelation and Armageddon? Things are getting serious, my friends. And like I say about my book, Terror Strikes, Coming Soon to a City Near You, I don't say this. I didn't write that book. I'm not trying to sell fear porn here. I don't want you paranoid here, but I want you awake and alert to what is happening. And indeed, this coming election, this November, so very, very important. Whether we continue down the road to weakness or do we go a different direction to get America respected again and put full sanctions, not just ones here and there for show that Biden has put on Russia and China to pretend he's doing something, but the teeth, the hard, sharp toothed sanctions that Donald Trump had that had Russia nearly bankrupt again, like Reagan bankrupted the Soviet Union and it collapsed. And China are not able to do a lot because they were also in dire economic straits, still are to some degree. But yet, the other thing on the note, China is not only threatening Taiwan now because we have a weak president. Did you hear Xi is threatening to potentially invade the Philippines? Remember MacArthur? I shall return. The pact that we will always defend the Philippines. We've promised to defend Taiwan, but we absolutely, positively are going to defend the Philippines. World War III could start if we're weak and Xi thinks he can move on the Philippines. Hence, this episode, things that been downplayed on the news that are so important. But again, I don't want you paranoid. I don't want you afraid, like terror strikes coming soon to a city near you. Hope over fear, but awake and alert of the consequences of this next election. If we have another 4 years of weakness, indeed, revelation could be right around the corner. Again, don't freak out. Don't get paranoid. Don't, I'm not trying to sell fear porn as clickbait here just to get you to tune into the show. Most of what I'm saying here won't even be mentioned in the show notes. You'll only know if you're listening or you're watching on video or someone shared the episode with you. So please do that. I've said it before. I hate YouTube videos. Always. Please like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. It annoys me to death. Everybody says that. But indeed, unfortunately, I've got to say it now too. In order for this show to grow, we need you to like it and share it. And please subscribe to it so that we can keep this show on the air, because you're not getting this news anywhere else. If you've heard this anywhere else, please, in the show notes, send us a text message. I want to hear, because I will reach out to them personally and thank them for covering it also. But my belief is you're not going to be able to tell me anywhere else you've heard this until after my show airs on July the 6th. They hear it and they run with it. You're hearing it here first. The news they've glossed over that is so important. A balloon bomb with trash on it could be a prelude to a massive attack with actual weapons, trying to lull you into a false sense of safety and security. Oh, here comes another Rocket Man trash balloon. And then that time, it's got a nuke attached to it. It's not trash. So we need peace through strength, like Reagan taught us. Not this weakness that Neville Chamberlain taught us, and many have not learned that lesson, that appeasement of tyrants only gets you more tyranny because you show weakness, and a strong man will walk over everyone they perceive as weak. So, indeed, at any rate, this is indeed going to be a much much shorter show. Because as I said, I wearing the jacket, I just ran in from the theater because that movie, Something to Stand For, is so important. And I wanted to remember to also mention how every 4th of July, like Christmas, right? We all watch Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life again, or Scrooge, right? Certain movies we watch over and over every what Christmas. Oh, I had a brain fart there. I had a Joe Biden moment. I apologize. Yes, laughing at myself again. A Joe Biden debate moment there. I had a brain freeze. It's like, oh, yep. Now that purposeful dead air there was me doing a mock Joe Biden freeze on video. You'll see that on the video channel if you look there. I'll have to try to remember when I'm editing to not edit out the pause there. Let me make a note on 20 minutes in, 20-minute pause. So I remember to actually leave that dramatic pause in the show because I was making a point. But every Christmas, we watch those movies. Every 4th of July, every 9/11, I rewatch the day's events of 9/11. I said never forget. I meant it. I don't. I won't. I relive that day every 9/11 via my TV. I can't show you now because I have a coat, but I have a 9/11 tattoo here. The Twin Towers, the Pentagon, outline of Pennsylvania, an eagle with glowing bright red enraged eyes. And that was the first tattoo I ever got. I was born in 62. I got that in 2002. I never tattooed my body. I always thought, why do people go into a tattoo shop, go through a book? Oh, yeah, well, let's randomly pick that, put it on my body. No, but a tattoo like most of our military have, all of their tattoos have a specific meaning and a point and a purpose to them. That's why I got the 9/11 tattoo as my first tattoo. There was never anything important enough for me to ink my body. But every 4th of July, I urge you to get a copy on DVD of An American Carol with Leslie Nielsen and other, Kelsey Grammer, Bill O'Reilly, Robert Davi, great Christian actor. So many people packed into that film. You won't, John Voight, you won't believe it. It's a comedy. All right. It's meant to deliver very important points in a comedic movie. A Christmas Carol, right? He's visited by 3 spirits. An American Carol, an anti-American Michael Moron type mockumentary filmmaker who wants to eliminate the 4th of July holiday. Does that sound familiar? They were ahead of their time. The left wants to eliminate the 4th of July. So that film, even though it was kind of a joke, a parody, it was spot on. Today's liberals, leftists, want to eliminate the 4th of July. So it's a real important movie. An American Carol, Mikey Moron stand-in gets visited by 3 spirits to try to turn him from the errors of his ways. So I have indeed now gone longer than I was expecting, and indeed, I'm getting really warm in this jacket in this house because it's like 87 degrees outside. Yeah, the air conditioning is going in here, but it's still too hot to be wearing a jacket. So with that, I'm going to end this. Bid you all a fond farewell. Take care. God bless. Hope to see you all again next week.
Thank you for having tuned in for ChristiTutionalist Politics show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you, or autographed copies are available online direct from me via TerrorStrikes.info/shop. Be sure to check out more about today's discussion at thelibertybeacon.com, where my articles drop every Saturday. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come, but for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, no fancy high production intro or inserts, at least yet, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless. Just wanted to give a brief shout out and thank you to all the folks on iHeartRadio and Player FM for being 2 in the top 3 platforms that my show, ChristiTutionalist Politics, is most often listened to. So thank you all. Take care. God bless. Like and subscribe to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help to grow the show.